Today I'm reviewing Relativity by Antonio Hayes. Antonio Hayes. This is a debut novel by Antonio Hayes. This was published in 2013. Um, it's about Ethan Forsyth, who is a 12-year-old genius. He's a genius boy, and in the words written in the book, um, he can see physics. He's in love with um, the concept of light and space and relativity and matter and antimatter, and he sees the world through those lenses, and he's just completely taken over by it. And he's being raised by his mother, who only called her name. She's named Claire, and they share a very special bond. Even though she's not in love with physics, she's an ex ballerina, but they just love each other. They really care for each other, and they share. They need each other. They're dependent on each other for happiness. But the question is, who is Ethan's father? And that's in the events that we face in the book. We meet Ethan's father, whose name is Mark, and we discover why he's not present in the child's life and has not been present for the past 12 years. And this is a book that is about opening old wounds, going back and past and figuring out why what happened, why families break, what causes them to break, how difficult it is to accept who you are, where you are, and why you've been there. There are a lot of questions that I don't want to get into the details of it, so I don't want to spoil it for you, for anyone who's going to read it. But it really evaluates parenthood and relationships in general, and what kind of sacrifices you have to make in order to become a parent, and where do your children actually need you. It's very well written. I would have to say it's about Antonia Hayes. This is another book that I've read that I was really impressed by the amount of research the writer had done. Um, uh, the last book that I read that I was really impressed by the research was by Jojo Moyes. When I read Me Before You, she had done a lot of research on quadriplegics and the plight of quadriplegics. In the same way, Antonia Hayes has done she's talked about a lot of concepts, a lot of physics concepts, which we probably have studied in school or even in universities. But the way she's narrated them through the character makes her feel like the character is really confident about them, is all that the character thinks about, knows them at the back of his hand. That is very, very impressive. And also the theory of parenthood. She's discussed SBS, shaken baby syndrome, in great detail, what it means, what it goes, and that is very interesting in this book. So there's a lot of research that's gone into it, and that's very impressive. uh, and there are a couple of side characters that I would have to mention that I felt were very interesting. First of all, there's Allison, who is Ethan's friend. This bond that Ethan and Allison share is another world altogether. Like, you can write a book only on Allison and Ethan. They're just such lovable characters when they're with each other, and they're kids and they're having fun, and it's really nice. And then there is Ethan's grandfather, John. He's an interesting character on his own. There's Dr. Saunders. There are lots of interesting side characters in this book. Claire's mother and father, their roles, they are very interesting characters. So she has a knack for building characters and building stories and building backstories, which is very good. A few points that I was not really impressed by. A book is divided into three parts: a starting, a middle, and the end. This book, for me, was not very interesting in the starting. It took me some while to actually get interested in the characters, for them to really draw me in. And by the time I reached the middle, I was fully in it. In the end, the last 7 pages, even though there was a great climax and the point that I was waiting for, the where you want to know the truth, you just want to get on with the truth. She explained it really graphically, and as a mother, it was very difficult for me to read it. I had to skip paragraphs, like it was really pulling at me, and it was really, but it was heart wrenching, and it was important, I guess, and I needed that to be totally moved by this story. But by the very end, the last 7 pages just read like a lecture to me. Like they read like she was telling me too much, not showing me enough and telling me too much. And she had already showed me everything, and I didn't feel the need to for her to sort of tell me so much. So I wasn't really impressed by that. Plus, I think that she had made a judgment very early in the book who the good and the bad character is, and she made it very, or who is right and who's wrong, not even good or bad, but who's right and who's wrong. And she made it very explicit to me in her writing, very early in the book. So I before I went to the actual event, which would have helped me decide by myself, I already knew who was right and who was wrong. And I didn't really appreciate that. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5. It's an adult, realistic fiction. It's beautifully written. There are a lot of characters that are very well drawn. It's a great story. It is with impeccable research. Something you should pick up and make your own mind about. But there are certain drawbacks. I think with time, Antonia Hayes would write better. I would pick up another book by her because I was impressed by her storytelling. So here's my review. Thank you.